What's up, guys? Today I'm gonna be showing you guys the best units in all-star tower defense for every single category. All right, we got a ton of categories, so make sure you guys watch the entire video, and also stay tuned, guys, for some updates on 2 new code units. All right, first up, guys, we have the best money unit. All right, obviously, guys, the best money unit right now is Speedwagon, but you could honestly make an argument for a couple other units. So let me go briefly show you guys all the other money units. Oh my gosh, but he gets you 287k per wave. And make sure you guys equip the universal cooldown orb. You see that orb in the center of the screen? That is the best orb for him. Octo gives very slightly more, but you have to cash out, which basically makes him useless after using him. And the fisherman requires way too much RNG, guys, to be useful. All right, next up, guys, we have my favorite, the best time stop unit. Just kidding. The best code unit in the game, guys. That award has to go to 02 for now, but don't worry, guys, we have 2 new code units dropping very soon. So first up, guys, we have Navy X Flames code unit. All right, if you guys don't know who his code unit is, it is Tokita Oma. All right, he's from a similar universe to Baki. Or I meant one of my favorite animes, guys, dumbbell. How heavy are the dumbbells you can lift? This one is a classic. Oh my gosh. All right, and I have received word, guys, that unit's actually already in the game. We're just waiting for the code to drop. And as far as my code unit, guys, is make sure you guys drop a sub. All right, we're already there, but you must be subscribed to get my code unit. You also help us to get our 400k code unit dropping soon. All right, I have received word that the animations are done, so hopefully that means we get that unit dropped very soon. And I will show you guys the animations as soon as they send them to me. All right, so right now 02 is the best code unit, but you know, just for a little bit longer till my girl Toru drops. But so next up, guys, we have the best time stop unit. All right, the best time stop unit in the game, pretty obvious, guys. We have the goat Gojo. Now Gojo doesn't do a lot of damage, but he has the longest time stop. All right, time stops nearby enemies for 5 seconds when ability is activated. All right, he has the longest time stop in the game. All right, he is a little bit expensive, and he's kind of hard to use because you have to like upgrade him a lot compared to compared to Jotaro's 6-star, but he has the longest time stop and the biggest range, making him a great unit to use in raid modes and infinite. All right, next up, guys, we have the best slow unit in the game. Now you could also say Ichigo because he's the only slow unit that hits airs, but the reason we have him on the list is he's full AoE, guys, with a fast SP. All right, he hits just as fast as Blackbeard with Blackbeard's orb, as well as he has that nice full AoE, making him the best slow unit in the game and meta for every single leaderboard. All right, next up, guys, we have the best buff unit. All right, I know he doesn't buff range, but the reason he's the best buff unit, guys, is you can do the infinite buff glitch. All right, so if you put him in your leader slot, you can have his cooldown goes to 0, basically making it so you get a max buff with only 2 metallic kings, so which is actually pretty freaking busted. So definitely, guys, if you're doing raid mode or even infinite, Metallic King is the GOAT. However, I do believe he's unattainable, but they might make him a tradable unit soon. All right, next up, guys, we have the best air unit in the game. Now, the reason I put this as the best air unit in the game is he has a pretty cool ability. So he starts out as only ground, but on his last upgrade, let me make sure attack effects are on, you can awaken him. All right, there we go. He gets awakened, and he transforms, and now he only hits air units. All right. So that basically makes him really good for air, and again, his AoE gets pretty big as well, and he also has the highest DPS in the game when hitting only air. So he's very good for every single game mode, and highly recommended you bring him. The only game mode he might not be the greatest at is double path, but that's up to you to decide that. All right, so let's go bring on the next set. All right, next up, guys, we have the highest DPS unit. Now, this is not to be confused with the highest damage unit. All right, she does the most damage per second, and that is Rimuru. Now, the problem with Rimuru is she was nerfed recently, so the nerf was only to affect her cost, though. So she now is insanely expensive to max out, guys, at 3.2 million. All right, however, she does have the highest DPS by far. All right, so you just want to go max, yeah, but unfortunately, to max all of her out, it's going to cost you, like, I don't even want to know, man, an insanely high amount of money. So she's not the best value unit, but she also has a cool ability as well, Steel Soul, which is a meta ability that I really recommend for anybody doing leaderboards. It basically makes cloners no more, so turns cloners into normal units, which is busted OP of a move. All right, next up, guys, we have the highest damage unit in the game. All right, and that is God Black Fusion. The reason being is he has an ability, guys, called Wall of Light. So what Wall of Light does is I'll go spawn in a bunch of enemies. is it cuts enemies HP. Oh, well, I can't see a dang thing right now. You see, it cuts enemies HP and oh man, I just used it. It didn't work. Oh my gosh. Yo, wow, it looks so cool too. Like, look at that, man. That looks sick. But what it does is it cuts all the enemies HP in half. I'm gonna have to turn off attack effects though, so you can see it actually in action. All right, so we're gonna go do this. All right, we'll spawn in a bunch of enemies. All right, the enemies that are left. Oh, well, that didn't work. Try that again. All right, he's gonna hit. And then, oh, well, he cuts the enemy's HP in half. All right. It's kind of hard to see with this little HP, but that's what he does. All right, next up, guys, we have the best status effect unit. All right, so this is like the best bleed, poison, burn, etc. And the best one of those guys is actually Denji. Nezuko is a close second, but the reason I didn't put Nezuko here was because bleed is the best effect in the game. So basically what bleed does is, if you take a look, it deals 5 damage 5 times over 8 seconds. So burn deals damage over like 12 or 20 seconds. So this is 5 times over 8 seconds, basically meaning you can basically multiply his DPS by 5, meaning he's doing 15 million without buff. But it doesn't really scale well, so you only really want to put one of him down, maybe 2 of him because of his SPA. All right, to get the max effectiveness out of him. But he's a very, very good unit, guys. Dealing insane DPS. And he's also a very, very good combo as well if you have Nezuko and want to use Nezuko anyway. All right, so next up, guys, we have, kind of a special unit that doesn't get a lot of talk about anymore, but we have the Flower Magus. Now, Flower Magus actually got a really nice buff. So now this range booster attack is really cracked. So we're going to put down our Chainsaw Man again. And we're going to take a look at his range. All right, so this is the best range buff unit. So 100 range after the ability, 140 range, man. That's busted, bro. They just added 40 range to a unit. And you know what the best part is? Look how much oh my gosh, what happened here, dude? Oh my goodness gracious. The best part about this is he only cost $4,000 to place. And you only need to place 2 of them to get infinite buffs. So that's only $8,000, guys, to increase the range by an insane amount. And he works amazing with full AoE units. All right, next up, guys, we have the best support unit. All right, so this is the support unit that I recommend you bringing for any infinite mode. Not as much for story modes, but the reason being is not only does he have a good damage, unfortunately he will mess with Chainsaw Man's bleed, unfortunately, which is kind of an L. He has this OP ability erase. So not only does erase like time stop them after a gazillion amount of time, but it also teleports the enemies backwards. All right, so it teleports them back and time stops them. And on top of that, he's actually a very, very good DPS unit. Not the best, but he's definitely up there. All right, so he's doing almost as much as Denji, but he has a half the SPA as Denji, which is very spicy as well. So not a bad unit at all. But the only problem is, guys, you can only place 1 of him, and he is a little bit expensive. He costs about 5 million to max. Yeah, 5.2 million to max, which isn't the greatest in the world. So that brings us to what you're looking for, guys, the highest damage unit. All right, in terms of like damage farming. So the best damage farming in the game, guys, is Yugi. Make sure the map is full of enemies, and you want to draw all 5 of his cards, and he's going to basically do 5 billion damage to every enemy on the map, maxing out your damage task. And we're getting a new damage task in the next update, guys, which is not this weekend but next weekend. So that is pretty hype, man. So I hope you guys enjoy this video, and let me know who you think the best units in All-Star Tower Defense are.